Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 90th minute. We are your hosts. We got Lucas, Greg, Waz, and we got Big Pav today. Welcome back to the podcast,
super
Mr.
sub.
Maddie. And Mr. Maddie couldn't make it today, so Super Sub is coming in. Thanks for joining us again. Myself, Liam, as well. If you are new to the 90th minute, please make sure you are subscribed. We greatly appreciate that. Turn on your notifications. And remember to hit like on this video. It helps us out a ton. Wazinho, we'll get into your club pretty soon here, but kick us off with our fantastic guys over at Manscaped.
If you are new to the podcast, we do have a nice little partnership with Manscaped going on. 20% off, free shipping with all the products. Highly recommend the Lawnmower 3.0 wherever it is in here. I don't know.
Are you currently using it at the moment? That's what it looks like.
I was using it a week ago, so I may have lost it. But fantastic product. I would show it off if I had it on. I don't know where I put it.
How did you
so
lose it?
I don't know.
This is not really not really an intro if you don't have the main thing.
Well, we got ball deodorant, and we got the Crop Reviver. I haven't used them personally, but Liam does say they're fantastic products.
I have. They are good.
Well, look.
With the Lawnmower 3.0, if Wazinho ever does find it, it is the most fantastic in male grooming below the waist. 3.0. It's got ceramic-coated blades. You will not cut yourself, guaranteed kind of thing. 7,000 RPM motor, waterproof, has a light. Taking the shower, it's a good time. Anyways, unfortunately, we have to kick things off with Manchester United this week. It's absolutely revolting, I know. But Wazinho, you can have the floor for the first 30 seconds.
So, yeah, we are recording this podcast a little bit earlier than usual. So we're kind of right off the bat of a big Manchester United victory over Leeds United. 6-2! 6-2! Amazing. I'm going to relish this in for a bit. I'm still going to try to take it one match at a time. I know in our group chat I seem very cocky because we do have a group.
Aggressive, disgusting.
All of the above.
It was a very attacking game. Obviously, Leeds versus Matt. It's what was expected. I didn't expect us to beat them 6-2. Scotty McTominay.
Did you expect to be 2-0 up within the first 3 minutes?
No, not at all. I'm very glad we started on the front foot for once. Much better start than what we had against Sheffield United. But at the end of the day, I can't complain. I mean, there were some defensive issues in of our back end. Leeds scored some decent goals as well. Nice set piece. Great goal by Dallas.
It was a fantastic goal.
Of course, it's not a big United victory without a Bruno penalty. But I just can't complain with that. We do play Leicester next, which will be a tough test. A lot of people, I was kind of nervous going into this game. Leeds they can be quality going forward. But we just exposed their back line. They were very weak there. The goalie, I think, could have been their man of the match. It could have been easily a higher scoreline, I think, the amount of chances we were generating.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of those chances were just poorly taken.
You're not wrong, honestly, Lucas, there, but...
Mr. Ice Cold Martial.
Yeah, that's the thing. Martial,
he
had a couple chances, and he can't seem to find the back of the net. Only against Sheffield, the bottom team in the league.
You brought Dan James back into the starting 11.
Yeah, he played all right.
He was all right, actually. I was a bit surprised to see him out playing, but he has the pace. He was running well at the back line.
I think this is the perfect match for him.
In a way, yes, because the Leeds play style, they're cavalier. They'll go forward, they'll push, they'll attack. Back line's a little suspect at times, a little left out to dry. I mean, 2-0 down within the first 3 minutes. That was pretty much the game done, in my opinion. I mean, how do you come back from 2 goals in 3 minutes?
I mean, your credit to Leeds. They were working hard all game. They didn't seem to give up. They kept going forward. So you got to give them some praise on that end. What did you guys make of the match?
It was exciting.
Good.
Though.
It was exciting, yeah.
Wasn't exciting for me. I didn't like it.
Big Pav's sitting on something right now. I'll let you go for your rant a little bit.
I mean, United just played it how they should have played it. Just sit back, counterattack. I mean, that's the bread and butter. That's what they're good at.
Yeah.
And again, just looking back on the goals, I mean, it was a good first strike from Scott McTominay, and it's sort of like, you score the first goal against the Leeds United side that then have to go and break you down, and you are more comfortable sitting back. It just makes your life a lot easier, and that's exactly what happened here. And listen, I know everybody's been flaunting Leeds' exploits this season, but they do have clear weaknesses, and they also have personnel issues. You look at that team, that's not that strong of a team. In regards to United, they're in the top 4 now. Thing is, I would know as a Chelsea fan, we went on a huge run. We got carried away. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Consistency is key. That's the thing.
I think that's the word right there. This Premier League season is lacking a little bit. It's just consistency. All these big clubs are just, they're going through their hot and cold streaks at the moment. And yeah, to touch on when you said their Leeds not being maybe a potentially great team. I mean, for a newly promoted team, I think they are good, but I don't think they're as good as people are saying they are. When we did our Premier League predictions, people were roasting us in the comments. You'll have them only 10th. These guys are top 5 guaranteed. It's like, relax. They're not, like, it is so tough to crack that top 10 in the Premier League. There's so many quality players.
Recently this year, it's been very tight. That whole top 10, even 100%. Villa's in there. So, and actually, speaking of Villa, they're right now up 1-0 as we're recording this.
Credit to United. They took their chances, well, majority of their chances.
For once.
They punished Leeds in their high back line, their defensive errors. I thought Scott McTominay, not only just his goals, but he just had a fantastic game in the midfield. He was moving the ball. He was making tackles. I love the man, honestly. He's just so good. So good.
The thing with the Leeds team is for their defense, they play a certain style of really man-to-man marking. And when United's able to just counterattack and easily exploit that, they just couldn't do anything about it.
I only have one thing to, put out there. I got...
Second half of the season, we're doing a title charge.
Hashtag 21 is not coming, so don't worry about it.
I'm excited. I'm not going to try to get carried away.
I don't think you're in a title race. I don't think you're in a title race right now.
Well, technically we are, but...
I cannot wait for Liverpool to put United in their place.
This is the thing, Liam. Everyone is saying that. You're saying we're not in a title race. Technically, we are in that race. Are we favorites? Of course not. Liverpool's the best team in the league. But right now, we're there with Leicester. That's going to be interesting. We're playing them next. Second versus third.
I want to use that talking point right there to transition to the next game, because the next game we're going to talk about is Tottenham versus Leicester. Are either of those clubs in that title race with you? Because I don't know if they are anymore.
I mean, I think they are, but you also have to ask, is Everton in that race? Because they're 4th. So
the Premier League is so weird this year.
If you're going to ask if Everton's in it, then you have to ask if Southampton's in it. And of course, like City and Chelsea, they're 7th and 8th respectively before they play their 14th match day. So there's a lot of randomness going on in this season. Lots of cases where anyone can beat anyone at the moment. But Leicester City versus Spurs today, I thought Spurs were very disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing is definitely.
Unfortunately, I didn't catch this match, so you guys might have to fill me in on what happened. So I woke up and I saw it was 2-0 Leicester.
I can tell you what did not happen. Gareth Bale did absolutely nothing. I don't know what that guy was on today, but he was just kind of there, physically, not mentally, kind of thing.
I mean, when you come on and you're already down, it's hard to get into the game and because he's forcing him right on, saying go score a goal. So
run.
After not playing also all that much, it's kind of a little bit more difficult.
But yeah, if you want to break down the match, I mean, Jamie Vardy scores a penalty right before halftime.
Well, first off, Serge Aurier, what the hell is he doing there, honestly? Right before halftime. I actually turned off the game because I thought it was right about to be halftime, and I went to go eat. I looked back, and I saw that it was 1-0 going into halftime. What just happened? And I had to go back and watch that.
I've heard from Tottenham fans that they're not content with Serge Aurier, and that's an issue for sure in their defense.
I mean, hell, even in my career mode, Serge Aurier was never once in position. I don't know what that guy is, but yeah. But Jamie Vardy, he buries a penalty. That's what he does. You never really doubt him on the penalty spot. Right after halftime, 10 minutes gone, Toby Alderweireld does score an own goal to make it 2-0. Also, like Woz, I didn't catch this game live. I only saw the highlights of it, so I can't say all that happened. But I think ultimately, Leicester deserved the victory here.
Leicester completely dominated the first half. I mean, and Leicester did their classic counterattacking in the second half, and not really much happened. It just didn't click for Spurs. Son had one chance off a corner where he honestly probably should have scored, but it just didn't seem to click. It was not his game. Kane was getting just bullied in the midfield as soon as he touched the ball mostly, and it just wasn't really happening.
Whenever Spurs were trying to actually win the ball, they just were never able to retain possession and just kept losing it back to Leicester, and they're just happy to let them have possession, which didn't worked that well for them at all. I know Spurs have been more defensive this season compared to previous years because of Jose Mourinho. But
both these clubs are kind of counter-attacking sides, so they both don't want massive amounts of possession at the moment.
But Leicester, I can still see them as a decent possession side. They have the players that can break the lines, can get in behind, and for them, it worked a lot better in this match.
Should we wrap up the Sunday fixtures quickly? Brighton and Sheffield United drew 1-1, point share to the bottom of the table. Greg, you might be happy with this.
Yeah, it's a good result. It's what I wanted. Sheffield was pretty, they were going in this, and they're up 1-0. Yeah, they were up 1-0. Then the red card happened. Or no, sorry, they got the red card first. Then they went up 1-0, so it was looking great. Then Brighton scored a late equalizer. Danny Welbeck!
Danny Welbs!
Scores a
ultimately,
goal.
for Sheffield, they get another point. Not the best of results, but it is another point for them, and I think they'll take any points this season so far.
Considering they had a red card and it was at Brighton, it was definitely good.
And, of course, as we are recording this, West Brom and Aston Villa are going on. It's right now 1-0 Villa. El Ghazi with a 5th-minute goal. We don't know how that game will finish with this podcast, obviously. We'll see what happens, yeah.
Let's move into the Saturday fixtures of the Premier League, and we gave you the spotlight, Wazzy. It's time to move it over to Lucas.
7-0.
7-0, Liverpool beat Crystal Palace. And really, it should not have been a 7-0 game. That first half was tight. I thought it was evenly matched, but then it was 3-0 at halftime. So, I don't know. Lucas, break it down.
Well, Liverpool scored very...
Give me 4 things, Lucas.
Well, no. I already did that already, man. Come on. This is something else. But Liverpool scored very early. Minamino gets the goal, which is great for him because I know Liam's not a big fan of him. So a lot of people that Liam is not a fan of kind of proved him wrong in this match, at least. But after that goal, Crystal Palace really did keep the ball very well. They're threatening us on the wings, getting it behind quite easily, to be honest, but they were pretty dreadful making that final decision or trying to create that final chance to actually get a shot because really they weren't really taking any shots until they got set pieces, and unfortunately for them, they weren't able to create anything meaningful, and that cost them as Liverpool scored another 2 in the half.
Liverpool they took every chance they had.
Yeah, Liverpool did take every chance they had, and in the second half, Crystal Palace offered nothing. It is demoralizing when you see a team you're facing where you're actually giving them a challenge, but then they just score every chance they get, and it's hard to lift yourself back up, especially when it's starting to get 3-0, 4-0. And at the end of the day, Liverpool played fantastic when they were on the attack, and Crystal Palace, you could say they're lucky, but at the end of the day, they lost 7-0. That's not a good look for them. And obviously not a good happy birthday for Gary Cahill.
No, luck was not on his side there. He did not get his birthday wish, unfortunately.
Bobby Firmino did score a brace.
He's scoring again.
Is Bobby back? Is Bobby back? That's the question we got to be asking ourselves. My favorite goal of this game was Captain Jay Hendo's, though. The nice layoff from Trent was well worked. Ultimately, it was good for Liverpool to get the goal differential sorted out again and get some kind of good energy back into the club, kind of get some momentum going, get some scoring back happening. But ultimately, there's not a hell of a lot we can talk about this game. It was 7-0. It was very one-sided.
I think the best way to summarize this match is just go look at Crystal Palace's Twitter account. And they stopped putting captions for the scoreline. They just put a picture, 7-0. You don't even have to look at the highlights. Just look at their Twitter account. It says it all. So
Sometimes you just can't take it anymore, okay? You're just like, nope, we're done there.
But we did a live stream this past week where you guys, Greg, Liam, Waz, and Matt watched the Liverpool Spurs match. And what do you guys think of that match? Just quick summary.
Oh, okay, so basically,
we had midweek
Liverpool
fixtures,
looked amazing. You guys are, without a doubt, title favorites, just by even the way you guys controlled the ball that game. The movement was sublime, as some pundits say.
Big words from Mozinho.
Honestly, the second half wasn't as good, but the first half was excellent from Liverpool that game. but
Liverpool
result.
were the better side, 100%. I thought
I know.
Spurs were a little lackluster.
Yeah.
Again, they sat back. They did have their chances.
They did hit the post a couple times.
They did.
Credit to that. But
Bergwijn should have had at least one in that game. I disagreed wholeheartedly with Jose Mourinho
Yeah,
after
same.
the match, where he
Same.
said the better team lost. I was like, Jose, did we watch the same match, Jose? I don't know. Sometimes Jose says these things. I love him. I think he's one of my favorite managers in all of football. But I go, is everything okay in Jose Mourinho's mind? Is everything kind of seeing eye to eye? I don't know.
He is just salty that he lost.
a little bit, I
mean,
think.
Pav knows about Mourinho best.
But yeah, it's a good run of form.
Yeah, me and Mourinho have had a history. Not personally, just as a Chelsea fan.
Pav, did you catch the Liverpool Spurs match? What did you think of that one?
No, I was visiting with family, but I heard everything that Liam just said about the match. So Liverpool are by far the better team. I just feel like with Liverpool, I mean, you look at Tottenham, Leicester to an extent, Everton, this Chelsea team, this United team. There aren't a lot of title winners in those teams. I mean, obviously Leicester won the title in 2016. They still have, some players. They have Jamie Vardy. But, I mean, I look at this Liverpool team. They're that championship caliber in the sense of they just know what it takes in a sense. And I don't really like talking about, like, intangibles. I like to talk about, like, more tangible things in football. But when it comes to this, I mean, knowing the lengths that you have to go to win, knowing, how to keep calm under pressure. And they've been doing this for the last, 3 years. They made 2 Champions League finals, won a Champions League, then won a Premier League. They have that championship caliber mentality. So I just see them being the favorites. I don't think anybody else really knows what it takes, apart from Jose.
They just have to be consistent. If they're the most consistent side of all the Premier League, 100% they're walking away with the trophy at the end of the year.
In terms, just quickly though, because you talk about that, the quality and the top talent and stuff. City has that. They're just missing something this year. It's just not going for them. And
let's talk about
West Brom
City.
in the midweek, right? So
we'll talk about Saturday. They did beat Southampton, which is actually a decent result for them. I mean, Southampton have been very good so far this year. But yeah, the City, I don't know. I said this in our group chat. I said, last couple of years, even when City did not play well, they would still have good passing, good movement. They'd be exciting on the attack. This season, they just seem so stagnant, lackluster, unimaginative. Just, this is how we play. If we can't do this, we have no other game plan. And that's seems to be Pep's little flaws in a sense.
To be fair, though, with this game against Southampton, this reminds me of City, though, in a way where even when they didn't play good, they still got a good result. They got a 1-0. That's a great result, honestly, against a really good Southampton team. But they didn't play the greatest either. So
I just think Pep's out of it. Ever since his mother passed, he just hasn't really seemed the same. And then
you think he wants to leave City, maybe?
But then why would he sign? I think if anything, he's just become more complacent now. I think he's rather just, you know what? I'll take the job security. They offer me this 2-year contract. Okay, I'll take it. In the meantime, I'm going to work on other stuff in my personal life. That, like, just from an outsider looking in, that's what I perceive it to be. I feel like he's got bigger fish to fry right now, apart from just his job. And I think he knows that with what he's done at City, he's secure, at least for now. So, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's really his first priority, is the football on the pitch. And it's for an unfortunate reason. It is for a tragic reason. And, of course, we wish him the best. But I don't know. I think that's hampered City's performances a lot. And defensively, they've improved a lot. But I'm even looking at their attacking options. I like Jesus. Ferran Torres hasn't played too much. Mahrez is good, but he's not great. And Raheem Sterling is just an awful footballer. He's so bad. He's I watch him. He just can't play football. You put a man on him, he's not doing anything.
He's got the talent. It just doesn't seem to produce when he needs it. That's the way I look at it.
I think he has the raw skills.
Yeah,
he has the pace. He has the agility. But does he have the whole package in a sense? I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and try to say, "Oh, Raheem Sterling is not a quality footballer," because we all know what he's capable of.
When I watched the Derby,
capable of scoring a lot of tap-ins.
Yeah, when I watched the Derby, I saw like the footwork was there, the speed. I mean, he sent Wan-Bissaka back to Palace at one point. So I mean, the skill is there. It's just it doesn't really materialize.
Honestly, he's always had the problem. Like, his shooting technique is just awful for a player that score that many goals. Honestly, like Pop said, he does score a lot of tap-ins, and there was a concern when he was at Liverpool. Like his shooting was awful. At City, we thought it was improving. There was times where he did score some nice goals, including some shots from outside the box. But we see so many times where one-on-ones he is inconsistent, and then we see many tap-ins. We saw it in Lyon, he missed a pretty simple chance. We saw at West Brom, he missed a simple chance where the game ended 1-1. He scored it against Southampton, but he definitely didn't strike that ball that well. And that is a big criticism of his game, and Pep has improved him to improve his positioning, I guess. Like he knows where to be at the right time, is able to receive the passes from his teammates and score simple goals, but he's just not that deadly of an attacker compared to others in the league.
Before we move on from City, very quickly, Pav, how do you rate Pep Guardiola?
As a manager?
Yeah, in terms of like global best managers.
Top 3. I mean, again, the whole thing that's happened this season, I don't really know if it's necessarily him being found out. I think if anything, he's also just become more pragmatic because that's how the league's gone. But I don't know. Last season, I would certainly put him top 3 in the world with Klopp and Tuchel. But I mean, this season is hard to judge because what teams have really been that incredible?
Yeah.
The 90th minute knows my thoughts towards Pep, and I'll keep those to myself for the moment.
Just saying, I've debunked the whole Pep only has money and he's never done it without money argument before, and I'll do it again. But that's a topic for another day.
I love that.
Fair enough. Let's move on. We talked about the top of the table in Liverpool. Let's talk about the most shambolic club in all of the league. We got to talk about the Gunners. They lose on Saturday 2-1 to Everton. They also draw Southampton midweek 1-1. It's a bad time for Mikel Arteta and all Arsenal fans. I think all 5 of us collectively, we look at this and go, you love to see it. It's just funny as hell. If you're an Arsenal fan, I'm so sorry. You choose this life.
I'm a bit bored of it now because it's just like beating a dead horse. It's like, okay, they know that they're awful. Like,
it's just the question is, how long is this gonna last? This awful form. Like, are they destined for the championship, or will they actually rise back up? Right? Like, that's
currently, as things stand, they are 15th in the Premier League, 14 points. That's 4 points out of relegation.
Like, we watched this during our watch along. I've had more eyes, Greg and I. I mean, they didn't look terrible this game. They looked better than most of their matches recent. They did press a bit better. I mean, they didn't generate a lot of clear chances, but once again, it's just... I mean, Mikel Arteta after the game, I don't know what he was on. He's like, oh, we got really unlucky.
He said that, like, I feel like he said that, like, after a lot of his losses.
He always says that they dominate the possession. They don't deserve to lose because they dominate the possession, but they always just play just the diagonal football, like sideways, diagonal, never really that vertical or through the middle.
In terms of possession, they had 58% against Everton. They had 13 shots, only 2 on target. So attacking-wise, they're not producing anything with their possession. They're not dominating the match in that sense.
That's what you're going to get when you pay Willian a 3-year contract, $200,000 a week.
$200K a week, and he's had 1 shot on goal in the last 11 Premier League matches. That's shocking.
And they had no Aubameyang as well. You got to give him sucks for that.
It's not like Pierre.
It's not like supposed to do with no service.
But it's not like not like he's been scoring record numbers so far. Like he's not producing either.
Pav, I know you
I don't know.
You have a history with Willian. You're not that big of a fan of him, I'm sure. And obviously he wasn't this bad at Chelsea, was he?
He would have like 1 game in like 13 where he actually looked good. Yeah, people would say like, and people would just remember that 1 game. But every other game, it was he would never take a risk. He'd always pass it back. He'd have a man to his left or a man to his right with an open goal, and he'd be running at the keeper, and he'd shoot at the keeper instead of passing it to the other guy. So listen, almost every single Chelsea fan celebrated when Willian left, and that should have been a red flag for Arsenal fans instantly. But as for Waz's question earlier on as to whether or not Arsenal are destined for the championship, I think so. I genuinely think so.
Jesus.
Because, listen, the fish stinks from the head. The owners are not willing to invest. The owners are not willing to invest. Stan Kroenke is one of the worst owners in sports, not only in football, but in American football and in, I believe it's hockey as well or baseball. I don't know. He owns teams in Colorado,
New Jersey
LA.
Devils, and he owns
Colorado Avalanche.
And I think he owns.
I'll take a look.
He also owns the LA Rams, who gave Jared Goff I don't know how much, and he's not worth that.
Yeah,
but
stupid contract. Yeah,
but he's not willing to invest. One of their highest paid player actually is being frozen out of the squad for political reasons, and it's either they stick with Arteta and they stick through this bad form, or they sack him, get another manager, risk doing even worse, and then losing their best players. So it's really just a matter of, are these owners going to do anything? And also, you have Raul Salenhi at the club, who I believe he's the sporting director for them.
I think Raul left the club in the summer.
Wait, he did?
Yeah, in the summer. There's this whole Pepe fiasco in the summer, and then...
No, now I'm thinking about it.
But what the fuck, man?
I think he gave. I think somebody gave Willian and David Luiz a bunch of money, and they're only looking at Brazilian talents now.
Their agents, Willian's agent Kia, he's apparently involved heavily into the club right now, and Kia, Willian, and David Luiz all own a restaurant in London.
I don't know that. Yeah. That's also, you also got to think about it as well. They got Gabriel, they got Pablo Mari, they got
Suarez,
Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah, and it's you think I'm just talking about Brazilians in general, but that market is what they're invested in. But that's not really a hot market right now. And I just look at it. I mean, this form continues. Arteta's going to be gone. New manager's going to come in. Who's going to want to come to that? Who's going to want to come to Arsenal? Realistically,
I mean, the only thing Arsenal have to offer right now is money. That's the only thing they can offer right now for a manager. But
not even that much. The only thing that they really have to offer is that they're managing Arsenal. That's it.
Yeah, the prestige of that club, but that prestige has been gone for a decade now. So, I mean, if I'm Arsenal, if I'm the owners, do I keep Arteta? That's the main question. I mean, I don't know. Is Arteta offering anything that shows signs of, hey, we can stick by him and turn this around? I don't know if he is.
I've read reports that they have to stick by him because they can't afford to sack him. So, and it's not even that the owners aren't filthy rich. Stan Kroenke is a rich owner. It's not like he's lacking money. It's not like debt. He just isn't willing to invest at all. And what I'm thinking is they're probably going to hold on to this club for as long as possible, invest as little as possible, and then the second that they narrowly avoid a relegation battle, they're going to sell the club, try and get as much money back from it as possible, basically try and make as much of a profit as they can. And then a new owner is going to come in, whether that owner chooses to invest or not. Arsenal will have a lot of rebuilding to do because at that point they'll be relegation fighters, from what I predict.
If a new manager comes in, and then the players that are struggling now start to perform, and then let's say these Arsenal owners see that, these players are now performing well. Mustafi's contract's expiring. He's starting to perform well. Let's give him another 3-year deal. Xhaka, he's performing well again. Let's extend his contract again. Things like that will keep happening. Players who are literally dead wood and only perform for maybe a couple months, or when a new manager comes in, will probably do the same thing if another manager comes in.
You have the likes of Mesut Ozil just chilling.
I know Alan Shearer, after the game, they asked Alan Shearer, could Arsenal actually get relegated? And he was like, well, a couple of months ago we joked about it. Now we're not joking. Now we're actually being serious of, they actually could get relegated. It blows my mind that a club of that size and that stature is just years and and years.
I guess you gotta look at it like Leeds in the early 2000s.
Not
they
even
were a
Forest,
huge club. They got relegated. And I know football's changed a lot. Clubs, there's more value in the game. There's more money with these bigger clubs. That's almost impossible for them to go down.
But money doesn't equal success. Yeah, it doesn't. People need to remember that.
And if you look, if Leicester could win the league in 2016, why can't Arsenal get relegated? It's kind of like one of those things. Yeah. The impossible is possible in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So honestly, 100%. The next few months for Arsenal is it's going to be massive for their club.
And Pav, you say?
No, and here's what makes me think that again the owners aren't going to invest anything. They invested a lot 2 summers ago when they bought Pepe, when they bought Tierney, when they bought a couple other players, and Unai Emery got them a 5th place finish and Europa League again. So again, they probably don't want to spend money, but they're thinking, okay, if we spend money and make more money, let's continue doing this. They spent more money and they didn't get their investment back. So they're like, why should we throw good money after bad money? So they're just, again, that's why I'm just thinking like the second Arsenal narrowly avoid a relegation to the championship, owners are going to sell. And I know Arsenal fans are going to probably watch this and get salty and get mad and say, oh, your club has no history. It's this, it's that. Listen, one, you guys wish that your club was my club. I'm going to say that first and foremost. Second of all, I actually hope that you guys stay up and succeed, because I remember those Arsenal versus Chelsea rivalries were awesome. They were fantastic. I genuinely hope that Arsenal do well and stay up and avoid this situation. But considering what they're going through right now, the club is rotten from the inside out.
If Arsenal do get relegated, or even if they narrowly avoid, like you're saying, how many of these players are going to demand transfers? You know, is Aubameyang going to want to the rest of his career be in a bottom side? I don't think so.
He has a gold-wrapped Lamborghini. He's not staying at a bottom-tier club.
Yeah.
Not bottom-tier in terms of history, bottom-tier in terms of position.
There's a lot of change that could be happening.
I was looking actually
at the Emirates in the next few months.
Stan Kroenke, the man owns like every team in Colorado.
Yeah, for some reason. Colorado, and then he has one in LA, but it was from St. Louis.
But to finish off the Saturday fixtures, Greg now deserves his spotlight. Newcastle versus Fulham. It ends 1-1 in very, very dramatic and, in my opinion, absolutely disgusting fashion. Take it away, Greg.
Yeah, I think it's... We dominated the game. We honestly dominated the game, and it sucks to get another draw. And like Liam was saying, it's undeserved. I think the reffing was absolutely brutal all game, apart from the penalty decision and everything and the red card. Personally, how I saw it, it is a red card. It wasn't a penalty. It was the foul was outside the box, and then Callum Wilson dove inside the box. Is how
not
I see
only
it.
was it not in the box, but I don't think it was a foul worthy of a red card.
And that's what people are saying. It's whether it was even a foul or not, and that's what the game has come to, and that's where the issue with VAR right now is absolutely ridiculous, and it's ruining the beautiful game.
Yeah, that's what Ian Wright said after the game. He says VAR is just absolutely ruining the sport that we love, and players are taking advantage of it. You know, they're going down so soft that in slow motion it looks like a big foul, and they get the penalty awarded to them.
Yeah, if I'm a player and I'm in the box and I have the ball and I have a tough shot and I'm not sure if I can make it off, I'm aiming for the player's arm. Why not?
Yeah, that's honestly so true.
At this point, it really is the Wild West of football, because it's just anything goes. You roll with the punches. If you make it out alive, you make it out alive. If you don't, hey, that's what happens. That's the sport. It's basically it's the Wild West of football. That's what it is right now.
My biggest issue with VAR right now is the fact it's not consistent. Sometimes, like that, they'll give that as a penalty and everything. But then there's even other times where they won't give the penalty. It's not consistent, so people don't know what the actual situation or statement is.
And the thing is, I know Matt the other day made a good point when we were talking on Discord. He says, they have to determine if it's an actual competitive advantage, you know? Like with VAR. It's like having your knee offside by an inch. Is that really a competitive advantage?
Which game was it onside? Was it there was a game today. Was it the Leicester game today?
Yeah.
There was literally, the offside was given, and it was you look at the lines are on top of each other. I don't know how that is offside.
It's I don't know.
VAR was brought in for the 20-foot offside player that is clearly offside, and the ref says it's a goal. You can't overturn it after. With VAR, you can. That's what it was brought in for. Not millimeter frickin' offsides.
No, here's what VAR have to implement. They have to implement the margin of error system that the Dutch use for VAR. So what it is,
it's
a thick line. So then that way, if two lines overlap, you still give a margin of error. So then that way it makes it a lot easier. That way you're not going down to the very, very pixel, which even then is not exact.
No.
Yeah.
Like I know when VAR first came into the Premier League, we had a podcast and me and Lucas were talking, and Lucas goes, VAR is for clear and obvious. That's the only time VAR can step in. It's the only time they can overturn. Are these overturns, are these penalties being awarded, are they clear and obvious? I don't know if they are.
Another thing I have a problem with, so like you guys were talking about consistency in the lines and stuff. In the Spurs-Liverpool match, when they checked VAR, there was just one line, and they just had to look, and it was quick. But then for the Spurs match this weekend, they do the lines thing again. Why go from one thing and then go back to the other like that? That was so confusing.
It's confusing, 100%. That's what it is.
And then
100%.
I feel like even the officials in the Premier League in general have just been shambolic this season. I mean, I feel like some of them, I've said in the past, they feel their job is so safe that they can make any call. They feel like, I don't care, my job's safe. What they're gonna fire me? Like especially like those the referees that have been around for a long time. They feel like whatever.
These referees and Italian referees, they're the only professionally employed referees. The rest are amateurs or volunteers. So that's why they feel such a sense of job security. And listen, obviously job security is important. These guys have families to feed and whatever. Mm-hmm. But come on, you got to hold these people accountable. Anthony Taylor, how many stinkers has he had? And he still gets a Champions League final to officiate. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Mm-hmm. And now he's officiating the Chelsea versus Manchester City game when he's had an untold amount of missed calls in two of our cup finals, one against Arsenal, the other against Arsenal, and then multiple screw-ups against Manchester United. And it's like, okay, we know we're going to lose already. Again, like it's the Wild West. Sometimes, you get dealt a bad hand and you just got to deal with it. And you just got to go, okay, today's not going to be our day.
Then you've got the legendary Martin Atkinson and oh my God. Some of these guys, they're a headache.
I was watching a clip earlier today of when they sent off Arsene Wenger for kicking a water bottle.
Yeah.
Jesus. Come on, man.
Here's the key to figure out if a ref is terrible or like not so bad. If they're bald, they're going to be absolutely awful. It's as simple as that. Unless they're
there you go.
What's their name?
The Italian guy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking it up. Yeah.
I'll quickly run through the midweek fixtures. We don't need to break them down too much, but Aston Villa drew Burnley 0-0. Not much happened in that game. Manchester United, they beat Sheffield 3-2. United were good in the first half. Yeah. They fell apart a little bit in the second half. Sheffield had some chances to come back, but ultimately you got 3 points there.
Bit of a blunder in the back at the beginning.
Just a little bit. We already mentioned Arsenal 1-1 for Southampton. Leeds, they got a 5-2 victory over Newcastle, so they can score, but as we see today, they can concede a ton. So we don't know what's going on with Leeds right now. Everton, they beat Leicester 2-0. Fulham and Brighton drew 0-0. We already spoke about Liverpool Spurs 2-1. And West Ham and Palace drew 1-1. And that was the midweek fixtures in the Premier League.
Currently, it's about to be halftime in an Aston Villa West Brom game. Still 1-0, but Allardyce is not having a greatest start because Jake Livermore got sent off.
Yeah, I heard there's a VAR issue in that game as well, so I was looking into it. I was like, oh, God. Is that all for the Premier League we can really comment on?
Yeah, but let's... there's some EFL matches coming up this midweek, so just quickly cover them. Brentford versus Newcastle, Stoke City versus Tottenham, Arsenal versus Manchester City, and Everton versus Manchester United.
Yeah. That'd be a tough game for you guys, actually.
That'd be a good test.
I assume you'll rotate your side a little bit because you have some big matches coming up.
Yeah, Pogba was on the bench and Greenwood. They weren't playing today.
That's a big game there for you guys.
Well, speaking of big games, actually, just quickly on the Prem, Pav, tomorrow, of course, Chelsea West Ham. That is a big game. That's tough for Chelsea, honestly, right now.
Yeah, we didn't really cover enough Chelsea recently.
Well, first things first, Reece James picked up a knock. There's suspicions that he may need a knee surgery. Apparently, he's had to play through a knocked knee for a while now. Frank's wanted to play him. I don't understand it. We have Cesar Spilicueta, who can deputize when needed to. And we have Tino Livramento as well.
Down the wing.
Yeah, and we have Tino Livramento as well from the youth team, and he looks promising as well. So I don't know. So that's tough. Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi, whether or not they're going to return and start, I'm not so sure. I think it all depends on, again, just whether or not West Ham sit back, because I like that front four that they have. The Benrahma, Bowen, Fornals, and Haller front four, or you can always switch Haller and Antonio. That's a good front four. That can open up some spaces. And as we saw against Everton, as we saw against Wolves, if you have a bit of attacking talent and you're competent in defense, you can be solid. You can keep us out. Even then, Wolves conceded the first goal. We can be gotten at. We can be gotten at. And I don't know. It's just, I'm worried.
It'll be a good game. It'll be a good game.
I have one question for you, though. So I've seen since the summer lots of Chelsea fans obsessing over Declan Rice and wanting him in the side. What are your thoughts on him?
I've made my thoughts on him clear already. I think he's okay. I don't understand Frank's infatuation with him. I think it's the trifecta, right? It's Frank, Mason Mount, and Declan Rice, and it's just those three. They just belong together, through thick and thin. But I'm also watching Declan Rice, and he plays in a pivot at West Ham. And what I notice is when tracking back, he can sometimes be almost like lackadaisical, like he's just going on a morning jog, Like sometimes you'll be walking down the street and like you see like those old people that do like the little like speed walk like things with the hand weights. It sometimes looks like that. And I also noticed that he plays alongside Soucek as well, who sometimes sort of deputizes more defensively. And when I look at how we play, or more so how Frank Lampard wants us to play, I'm still undecided as to whether or not he wants to play a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. If he wants to play a 4-2-3-1, that makes a bit more sense. But again, who do you play in that midfield? You're signing Declan Rice for a massive fee. You're going to play him. So who else are you playing beside him as a part of Conte, Kovacic, Jorginho? Like, who are you playing alongside him? And then if it's in a midfield three with Declan Rice at the base, I don't think that's necessarily good either because, again, he seems a bit more forward. I don't even know if it's forward because even then, attacking-wise, he's not very creative. I don't know. It's just he's always played in a pivot. He's always played with somebody beside him. And I don't know. I don't get the fuss. Listen, Bruno Gomes is balling for Lyon right now.
I think if a suitable offer came in, Frank would be ready to let Jorginho and Kovacic both leave the club, I think.
Listen, Frank's
okay with it.
Listen, Frank's a moron if he lets Kovacic go. Jorginho, I understand.
I agree with Kovacic. Jorginho can go. Kovacic is good, but I think if the offer came in, Frank would go, you know what? I can get Rice. I can get someone else, I
really like Jorginho, but Frank just doesn't want to use him. He'd rather play Billy Gilmore, who is literally just the same player, but just not as good because he's a lot younger. But
come on, Billy G, the baller.
But I look at it. Bruno Gomes is balling for Lyon right now. He would definitely be a cheaper fee. He seems so much more mature. He's used to playing at the base of a midfield three alongside Kakare and Aouar. And I just think to myself, that would just be a better option. I don't know. This feels like a whole, hey, Mace, it'd be nice if we get Declan back, right? Mace goes, sounds good, Frank. And he's like, all right, gotcha, son. And then there we go.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I don't know.
So I guess
I absolutely love this time of year because there's so many fixtures coming, and you get over the West Ham match, and then Chelsea has to play Arsenal right after, a couple days after. So it's like it's some great games coming up, and we're excited to watch.
And January is always our worst month. January is always our worst month.
I was just gonna give a round out how the Premier League table's looking like right now. Liverpool on top, of course. They have one loss, of course. Somehow that's only it's a 7-2 loss. Is your only loss this year to Villa. Leicester in second, United in third on goal differential with Everton fourth, Spurs fifth, Southampton sixth, City in seventh, Chelsea in eighth. That might change tomorrow or whenever podcast is released. So yeah, should we move on to big award show that happened this past week?
Quickly about Leicester City. So Leicester are second, like you said. They've got 5 losses. When was the last time in the Premier League that a team with 5 losses was anywhere near the top of the table?
But not a single draw. So
no, that is true.
So, but
yes, go on to your award show, sir.
The awards. What do we make of it? The best awards happened. Lewandowski, Player of the Year. I think from general consensus with most people, that was the right choice. But the top 3. There was some confusion with the Messi, Ronaldo. Pav, you had a lot of love for Neymar this season, which I think I can agree with you because Neymar had a fantastic season with PSG. I don't think he deserved to be voted 7th. 7th for Neymar. I mean, there was a lot of questions with this award show. I mean, let's start with the Neymar. Give us your thoughts on that, where he should have been.
Somebody call the cops. There's been a fucking case of fraudulence with this. But Neymar reacted to a post saying how Neymar was left out of the team of the year and how Neymar was put 7th in the voting. And Neymar himself commented, PSG play a different sport. Now, I think that's true, but I also think it's stupid because I don't understand why this singular club, no matter how good they play, they reach a Champions League final, they win Liga, they play. Neymar himself plays some fantastic football, just fantastic. Best player to watch in the world right now. I mean, I just don't understand why like this one team.
It's a crazy statement to make, but for as long as PSG will play in France, they will not get the respect they deserve.
Exactly,
and
100%.
It's like, just because you're a French club, if you do in the Champions League, they got to the final. I for one have disrespected Ligue 1. I don't rate it as high as I rate other leagues, 100%. But you have to rate the club that gets to a Champions League final. You have to rate the club who's scoring goals like crazy and who's performing well. Thomas Tuchel, in my mind, is a bit of an idiot, but he's got some fantastic players who are performing at a top level. So Neymar deserved top 4 this year, not 7th.
I think.
Yeah. Who would you have taken out?
Ronaldo. I would have took Ronaldo and I would have put Neymar in. But I understand people say that, all the goals that Ronaldo scores. But I look at everything else. I look at the totality of the games, and Neymar is just better.
I do have the stats here. Lewandowski, 39 games, 43 goals, 7 penalties. In those 13 assists. CR7, 37 games, 39 goals, 17 penalties, 6 assists. Lionel Messi, 42 games, 24 goals, 8 penalties, 22 assists. So it's very weird that between those two. Some people are like, "Oh, Messi shouldn't be in there. What did he do this year?"
I don't even think Messi should be in there. I think if anything, you could put in someone like a Joshua Kimmich. But I mean, let's face it, this is FIFA. They don't give a fuck about anybody that's not an attacker. Come on.
That's a big point, and not only that, but just for as long as Messi and Ronaldo are still playing, they're always going to be put in that top 3.
It's just the PR.
Unfortunately,
that's it.
Yeah. And it says it more. Like Dani Alves was ranked as a higher defender than Robertson. Mueller was like 11th ranked midfielder.
And then there's also like there's the Ballon d'Or, which in my opinion is kind of losing its prestige with how they kind of handle this year and over the last couple of years, the best award being out. And then also they made Jurgen Klopp Manager of the Year, which, I mean, they had a great year at Liverpool, obviously, but, I mean...
Hansi Flick had the best year that you could ever wish to have.
Yeah, and he didn't lose a single game in the Champions League.
Not only that, but he took over when the club was not doing as good as they have.
And
he's turned it into a trouble-winning club.
He just said,
"Oh man,
all your dreams come true." He's like Robbie Williams in Aladdin. He's just like Robin Williams in Aladdin. He's just like, listen, name your 3 wishes: Bundesliga, Champions League, DFB Pokal. Your wishes, sir. Your wishes, my
command. Won the Club World Cup here soon.
Got the best striker, got the best left back, got one of the best midfielders in Kimmich.
Well, the best goalie.
One I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Best goalie. What do we think about the best goalie thing?
So he was
he's the best goalie, but he's not in the team of the year. What do we think of that?
No, I like Allison, but I don't think Allison should have been there.
He was injured for a chunk of the year.
Yeah, like
he also just didn't play a lot. He didn't play a lot.
Who's voting for this garbage?
Coaches and players.
Oh, that's so. I mean, some of these coaches maybe.
I mean, you think about it though. These players, they're not analyzing the games. They're not looking at it.
No.
They go to practice, they play, and then they go home.
And then
they're voting for their countrymen. They're voting for their friends, their teammates. They're not voting for the sport itself.
I think Jurgen Klopp even says like, I don't know how I won this, but okay, whatever. he's like, oh, okay. What else is gonna? And then the Ballon d'Or. They instead of releasing the Ballon d'Or this year, they said let's just put out our all-time 11.
Which was also debatable.
Yeah, like because they had Cafu in it, and it was like a 3-2. I don't know. It was a weird formation. Yeah, they had Cafu, Beckenbauer, and who else is in the back line?
Maldini.
Maldini.
Yeah, and the midfield was Xavi and Mateus, while they had like a front 4 of Maradona, Pele, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, and the striker was R9. there's some contra. I mean, you could have put Kaká, Ronaldinho,
Thierry
Zidane.
Henry's just kind of like,
Johan Cruyff existed.
Here's what I don't get. Isn't it just like an all-time 11 at that point? Just like the best players of all time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they're trying to make and
FIFA.
Lev Yashin. Yeah, Lev Yashin was the goalie, but so.
No, it's debatable, and I think I know we've tried to create our best ever 11, and we could not come to a consensus.
I mean,
ultimately, it's an opinion based thing.
I agreed with the attackers for the most part. It's just the midfield is kind of confusing. Like
the midfield,
yeah, they were good, but there's
for me, it's
a maestro.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like Zoff, Maldini,
Yeah.
Baresi, Beckenbauer, Ramos at right back, midfield three of Zidane, Iniesta, Xavi, and then Maradona at Cam, and then Messi, Ronaldo up top. That's just what it is for me. But I know it's different for other people.
Yeah.
What are we moving on to next?
Just the Bundesliga had some big action. We'll cover the rest of the leagues here.
Yeah, we'll cover those other leagues quite quickly.
Schalke's awful.
Welcome to the 90th minute, Pav. Schalke is our favorite team to hate.
Good. They're sponsored by
They are
Gazprom,
just-
so I'll have no problem ragging on them.
They're just so bad. And we have one guy in the comments who's a Schalke fan. Every time we say something bad about him, he goes, Schalke's not that bad. You're the worst team in football. You're even worse than Arsenal at this point.
Was Sheffield?
No, I don't know. Schalke gave him a game, I think.
See, I watched the
I
Schalke
don't
versus
know.
Freiburg game, and Freiburg were just opening them up. It was like a surgery. It was like a surgery, basically. Like it was just.
Basically, to talk about Bundesliga, we did do a live stream as well of the Bayern Munich-Bayer Leverkusen match. Of course,
Very good
Leverkusen
match.
were undefeated. It was a very good game. Both clubs were pressing well. They were counterattacking each other. Ultimately, Bayern Munich do come out a 2-1 victory right at the very end. The man, the myth, and the legend, Robert Lewandowski scoring a brace. He's too good, man. He's just too good.
It's like the last kick of the game, just deflection, like top corner. It's like, and what you said, Liam.
Wait, you're saying he came in clutch in a big moment? I haven't.
Yeah,
listened to
shocking.
Yeah, that's
No.
true. I know.
I have my
that.
criticisms of Robert Lewandowski, but he's top two in the world for sure. I mean, for me, I find it debatable between him and Neymar, but I understand that you guys think that, especially was fair enough. If I was Polish, I would say that he's the best player of all time. All right.
Yeah.
I like seeing David Alaba in the midfield. I think he performed well there. I mean, the guy is so versatile, and if Bayern Munich let him go for free this summer, that is a massive, massive mistake.
They don't have a choice
I would
if they
give
do,
him
though.
whatever David wants. Whatever you want, David, you can have it. Name your contract.
Alba's
Just have it,
a
because
lot of
he's so
money,
good
man.
for them. I'd give it to him. He's so good. Who do you replace him with?
Oh, there's nobody really. I mean, look at the
In
market
terms of
now.
left back,
It'd be
center
hard.
back, midfield. Hell, put him up at striker. You don't know what he can do.
I think he played like one time as a KM for Austria,
Yeah.
just because Austria
You
were
never
just
know.
like, screw it. We're going to put it all on David Alaba, and it didn't work at all. But, I mean, I'm just looking at the table here. Wolfsburg, I like Wolfsburg. I have an affinity with them. They had Perisic and Ivica Olic at one point. They now have two good young Croatian kids, Josip Brekalo and Marin Pongracic. I like watching them. They look good. And then Dortmund fifth. Sancho not playing very well.
Yeah,
They lost on Friday there against Union Berlin. Mukoko did score, which he's now the youngest ever Bundesliga goal scorer, so good job for him. But yeah, Dortmund, they lost Haaland, and they have lost all type of energy that they had going forward.
Well, yeah, like you said, Pav said Jadon Sancho has not been performing well recently. Nobody knows why. I mean, he played so well last
He's
year.
really not worth 100 million.
Oh, definitely not.
He's just hyped because he's English.
I mean,
And you're a bastard of a club, is like, have whatever you want, Jaden, have it. I'll give you Old Trafford.
Liam, I have to defend this. Jadon Sancho had an incredible 2 seasons. It's not like he's had a flash in the pan or anything like that.
No.
Sometimes players, like
he
even
worked
great
in a
players like Eden
system.
Hazard had like one bad season at Chelsea, but he still showed his class and bounced back from that. I think Sancho is going through a rough spell, and it'll definitely show. Like, can he bounce back from this horrible season so far? They're on a small break right now, but.
Yeah, they're on the Bundesliga winter break right now, so they're going to be able to take some time off and bounce back. But I mean, I think the whole hype from Jadon Sancho, and this is kind of a criticism that I have of modern football fans now, is you just look at the goals and assists, and you go, this guy's amazing. But I mean, I've watched him, and he's a very good player, but there still are parts of his game that he has to improve. His dribbling could be better. Offensively, I just think he still has stuff to work on. I mean, he's only 20 years of age, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hold it over him. But too much hype at such a young age.
He has flashes of brilliance, essentially, right? And then he's still
I mean, I watched him a lot last season and two seasons ago, especially. Like there was a lot of times, he obviously when they shut him, like close off some spaces for him, he does struggle. But there was also a lot of times where he does create a lot of chances and his teammates don't take them either. So I think he deserves some criticism. I know this season he definitely deserves criticism right now. But yeah, he is still young. He can still improve. I expect him to become one of the best players in the world in the future. And I think hopefully Dortmund can bounce back. The winter break is a lot shorter than most years. They come back a few days after the New Year. So, and against Wolfsburg, who they're competing for the Champions League.
If Wazzinho was in the starting 11 with Haaland up front, Wazzinho could walk out with 12 assists in a season.
Sancho was getting...
It's not that tough.
That's...
Just toe poke it through, let the big man run.
Sancho was doing a lot before Haaland. Yeah, and the manager too.
Yeah, the new manager at Dortmund will be integral to how this season plays out. Can we go to Italy, please?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Some Buongiorno Italia. I just finished watching a fantastic game with Atalanta. It ended 4-1 versus Roma. Of course, Captain Eggy Greggy's not in charge there, so the club's a bit shambolic. Atalanta were all right. They came back. They made some changes, and their system completely flipped, and they pressed as Atalanta do. They counterattacked well, and they got 3 goals within the last 20 minutes of the match, kind of thing.
Was it last season Atalanta is what you were seeing there, Liam?
I'm not gonna say it was last season Atalanta. I'm gonna say it's more so. I guess Greg. I guess just Roma were not great though. Roma was slow at the back. Big Smaldini was out of position a couple times. Roma did not look anything. Every time they try to go forward, and Dzeko up front all by himself, he's slow. He couldn't hold up the ball. He couldn't get to the ball. First off, it's just Roma did not work against Atalanta, and Atalanta flourished in the last half an hour or so in that match.
Yeah, and there's obviously we mentioned last video that Papu Gomez is going to be leaving the club in January, and it looks like they're not really missing him. I saw Ilici's goal against Roma, and that was just incredible by him. He just like beat 3 guys and just slots it home through I was about to say Maldini's legs, Smalling's legs.
Yeah, he knows how to score Ilicic from distance, that's for sure. And
it was in the
brilliant
box.
Goals.
Lucas,
I know he knows how to score brilliant goals.
Your favorite club of Serie A this season was Sassuolo. They took on AC Milan, and of course AC Milan, they get another victory 2-1 this time.
We got to talk about this. Yes, I think Lucas is pointing it out. Rafael Leao. The goal, 6 seconds.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's not bad. I do like Rafael Leao. He's a deadly goal scorer, what I've seen of him so far. Well, yeah, 6 seconds. That's an incredible Serie A record, and that's going to be tough to beat, I think.
I mean, 8.6 was like the previous record, I think.
Let alone getting down the pitch in 6 seconds, like actually scoring in 6 seconds is.
Yeah, that's a lot of ground to cover, and they're. The thing as well, Milan's doing this without Zlatan as well because he's still out. Yeah, and I think the fact that they're still undefeated, still picking up wins. They're scrappy wins, but they're wins. They're wins that bring the team together.
And I saw on someone on Twitter, and they're saying, "Oh, Theo Hernandez, he's the best left back in world football right now." I'm like, Jesus, what? So
that's what happens. People get on the hype.
He's very good right now.
Just to say that there is a title race in Italy for once. It's nice with Milan, Inter, and Juve. It's close.
Well, as we're speaking, Lazio are beating Napoli 1-0 right now, so that's not a great result for Napoli. Inter Milan, they got a 2-1 victory over Spezia. That's good for them as they try to get their season back on track. Because I don't know how I feel about Inter Milan this year so far.
The thing is with them, they should do well in the league now because they have no European competition to worry about.
Yeah. And of course, Juventus, they smashed Parma 4-0. Was it a Ronaldo brace? Was it brace? Yeah.
And Morata got a goal and 2 assists. He's the most underrated player in the world right now. He's been
that's Olivier Giroud.
No,
Olivier
it's not.
Giroud is criminally underrated.
I watch him week in, week out. Listen, I feel like everybody overrates Giroud because they call him underrated so much. And listen, he's good. He's on a good, run of form. And when he's hot, he's hot. You can't stop him. But Morata has just been incredible for Juve this season. Ever since he came in, he's been fantastic. He's the most underrated player in the world, for my money. And he's
I still
arguably
miss
top 5 striker in the world.
I still miss Mario Mandzukic with Juventus.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it just seems like he's more comfortable being at Juventus, like compared to because at Chelsea it just didn't work in the end. At Atletico Madrid,
I think at
he
Chelsea
always was offside.
being the main man at Chelsea, he didn't work great in that system. And now he's got Ronaldo beside him. It's kind of like, you know what? If he has a bad game, it's okay, but he's actually popping up with some great results.
I was just gonna move on to I was just gonna quickly move on to La Liga just so we can move the podcast on a little quicker. Good discussion on Serie A though. That's Serie A. La Liga, Atletico are now in first, 24 points. Real Madrid are currently playing as we speak, 2-0 up against
points.
Eibar. 29, my bad, Lucas, thank you. Sociedad, they lost to this weekend. They've been in good form this year, but they have taken an L against who they lose to here. Levante. They've had Sociedad, for all the hype they've had, they are in a bad run of form. They've had 3 draws, 2 losses in the last 5 games. Barcelona had some hype, even though they had a 2-2 draw with Lionel Messi, equaling Pele's record of 643 club goals for a single club. That's insane.
It's not bad.
My
So
goal.
I know
My goal.
Hey, same here, man. I mean, next to Lewandowski. I'm just saying. Anyways, yeah, La Liga has been interesting. I mean, Barcelona's starting to catch some ground in the league. They're fifth in the league
Are they
at the
though?
moment,
I don't know,
so-
man. 2-2
Yeah,
draw against Valencia is not a good result. I mean, they did beat Sociedad midweek, which was a good result for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, you look at Atletico Madrid 3-1. They win against Elche. I think this is a Madrid table this year, whether it goes to Real or Atletico. That's going to see at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Real Madrid. I think they got a bit more quality all around. But the X factor, of course, is always the Atletico's defense. They can just grind out championships.
Well, not really. They've only won 1 in the past decade, but I know what you mean.
You get what I mean, Lucas. You know what? You want to fight me? You can fight me.
I don't like that one. I don't like that competition.
They got a baby goat in the making, so if he can pull through in the biggest moments, they'll be just fine. But yeah, Barca are they're out of it. They're like the AC Milan of La Liga now. We've seen it coming for a while. I still have Barca fans who are telling me we're gonna smash PSG in the Champions League. Are you fucking out of your mind? Are you kidding me? Like, come on. I mean,
we've had one on this podcast choose them to go through.
Oh my goodness. Nah, I don't see it. This is gonna be 2021, not 2015. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's fair. La Liga, the table is still exciting. I mean, it is still tight within the top. I'm gonna say like 6. I'm gonna say, but I think as the next couple of months go by, it will drop down to 2, maybe 3 teams. So we'll see what happens there. Do I get my moment in the sun now, Lucas?
Oh yeah, the Scottish League. Almost forgot.
Not the Scottish League, the Scottish Cup final. This was last year's Cup final because football got suspended forever. Celtic have won. Woo! The quadruple treble. Never before done in world football. FIFA put out a tweet today. They were like, "Congratulations, the first club ever to do 4 domestic trebles in a row." We did not do it easily though. As Celtic are, we like to do it the hard way. We were 2-0 up within half an hour. Ryan Christie scored a banger, curled it top bins, and then Hudson Edward did a panenka on a penalty. The goalkeeper, which was Craig Gordon, our former goalkeeper, got angry and threw the ball at him after it received a yellow card because that's Scotland for you. And then second half, Celtic. We performed as Celtic do, and we blew it. We conceded 2 goals within 20 minutes, so we were definitely not the better team in the second half. We scrape out to extra time. Lee Griffiths comes on in extra time, and he scores a goal. Great to see him back playing. And then right at the very end, Hearts tie it up to make it 3-3 in the 111th minute. So, nerves are jangling there. And it goes to penalties, and we win 4-3 on penalties. Our young goalkeeper, Connor Hazard, he saves 2 penalties in the shootout, which is great for him, his confidence. Ultimately, good job.
Well, Liam, the comment section on Instagram disagreed with you.
That was you.
No, there's
you disagree with
one lad here. Ian Buckley, I think that's his name. I'm sorry. Of course, as an Irish lad and a Celtic supporter, I'm very happy. But we played terribly in the second half, and I was thinking Hearts could have nicked it. And there was, of course, our friend Harrison. He's a Hearts supporter. He was not happy with you. Liam, listen. Celtic got outplayed from the 45th minute onwards. Please admit that the shitty goalie got lucky as fuck with the pens.
Ultimately, here's how I respond to that. Who lifted the trophy? Us. Sucks to suck. You don't like it.
I just find it funny that Celtic, this great club, struggled to defeat Hearts, who are in the second division of Scottish football right now.
Lucas, this great club has been in shambles for 6 months.
Shout out to James for saying 54 titles and still going strong. Oh, never mind. That's Rangers. Managers. Scott Arfield's going to be lifting the...
Rangers got knocked out of the cup already, so
Scott Arfield's going to be lifting the Scottish Premiership, a Canadian legend.
They have won 0 so far since Mr. Steven Gerrard came in.
That's a poor excuse. They'll win something.
Nothing. They've won nothing so far.
That might be your last title for a little bit, Liam. Just saying.
You never know.
Well, they're going to be something soon because they're 16 points above you guys, and they have Bordan Barisic, who's a consistent player for the Croatian national team. So come on, Rangers. That's all I'm saying.
Liam never thought this day would happen.
I just get attacked here constantly, man.
All right, let's move on to TikTok questions.
Let's do 5.
How many? 5K.
Yeah.
We're going to start off from the boy, Jose. Most robbed player of a Ballon d'Or. Ooh.
Schneider.
Franck Ribéry, 2013 maybe?
Yeah, I think Wesley Schneider.
Wesley Schneider is like the first name that comes to mind.
Now, some people are going to say Ronaldo, 2018, because Luka won it. But Luka had a good season.
But he's also had other Ballon d'Ors, so that's a little bit different.
What about Thierry Henry?
Thierry Henry's a shout there.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the 2001 Ballon d'Or, and I want to see the voting results because I know Michael Owen won it, but there was also Raul. There was Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn had a phenomenal season. There was Beckham, Totti, Figo, Rivaldo, and I'm just thinking, like, amongst all those guys, I mean, I know Michael Owen was great that season, but was he really better than Raul, for example? I mean, I'm just looking at that. I'm trying to look at all the other Ballon d'Or results, but that one certainly sticks out to me.
For me, one that could be argued is Manuel Neuer, maybe 2014 World Cup winner. He was in the mix, but of course an attacker always wins it, especially in recent years. So
yeah, I definitely say 2003. I think Thierry Henry. I'm sure Pavel. I didn't really watch. I wasn't watching football at that time, but Pavel Nedved won it in 2003. But
I watched. I've watched a bunch of Nedved. He was quality.
He was fantastic. I mean, but what Luke is saying was Thierry Henry 2003 had very special seasons.
Here's another question asked by itswoz. I sent him another question. I do apologize.
Why do you keep sending in
questions? My God,
because I have good questions. It's good content, man.
We're trying to get the actual viewers' questions, Woz.
Hey, man.
You're so egotistical.
Just trying to provide good content. The best dressed footballer, you guys think?
Xabi Alonso.
I'd have to go with it. Sergio Ramos. I mean, David Beckham. David Beckham.
Good, yeah.
Nah, Xabi Alonso just not only does he have style, but he has like swagger to it.
Andrea Pirlo, he looks good in a suit.
For sure. But I don't know. I think Xabi Alonso may have a better
picture
beard.
Picture this. Andrea Pirlo in a winery, a nice unbuttoned collar kind of thing. He's got his maybe his cashmere sweater on with a nice Pinot Grigio in his hand. Oh.
Guys, don't you just love how Pep dresses all the time? Come on.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to maybe, I don't know, Tony Pulis. Tony Pulis in his tracksuit and his hat. It's always a good time.
Arsene Wenger with his massive coat.
Oh God.
He couldn't zip it up ever.
I'm trying to find who has just like the wackiest like
There's Jurgen
Danny Alves. Danny Alves is the best.
Danny Alves.
No
There you
debate.
go.
It's done deal.
Jurgen Klopp, back when he was coaching Mainz, was wearing like an all jean jacket and jeans. It was horrific. Like,
I wish I could show you guys this photo here. The suit of Xabi Alonso in like a cream suit looks like he could be in James Bond, but it's Danny Alves. Come on now.
I think for best style, it's between Sergio Ramos and Xabi Alonso. I think David Beckham deserves a shout with Pirlo. But
yeah, Beckham was good. I
yeah.
mean, he's a model now, basically. So
Ramos ain't that saucy, honestly. I mean,
sometimes he does.
He is, but he's not like that.
I guess.
He's improved over
Bun
the
and
years.
the iPod shuffle.
Next question is actually back on the topic of style still. What footballers have had the worst hairstyles? I think Danny Alves has had some weird hairstyles over the years.
R9 Ronaldo.
I like the little like volcano at the top of his head, like just like the one. That was perfect.
Raheem Sterling right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Mike.
terrible.
Nah, I see that all the time.
I know, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It just looks.
David, what's his name? Laxalt. I mean,
Laxalt.
The dreads aren't
bad, but what's worse with Laxalt is when he shows up to the game, he's got these like really big glasses on. I don't know what he's pretending to be, but hey, he's performed well for us this year.
He's Uruguayan. He moves different.
He does what he wants.
Come on, guys! All the afros, the Marwan Fellaini's,
No, I like some Fellaini, man. I like that.
It's good. It was nice.
Gervinho's bad.
Come on, that's just his hairline, man.
He's got a big forehead.
Yeah.
A big forehead.
Lucas, you were saying?
Yeah. What about from the 1998 World Cup, the Romanian national team where they all had the same blonde haircut?
Yes.
That's
they all dyed their hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mbappe currently has.
They're getting the same haircut. Sorry, something going on.
Mbappe currently dyed his hair blue. I don't know why. That was weird.
See, it's only good if you can like pull it off and play well. Timo Bakayoko did the exact same thing and then played terribly.
Or like when Paul Pogba dyed his hair blue and white right before the Manchester derby, I was like,
that was confusing.
Paul, bad choice of colors this week.
Read the room.
All right, let's go look at another couple questions. Which player has the most legendary song?
Thiago Silva.
You're not wrong with that one. Let's say Will Grigg.
Will Grigg's on fire.
That one's
Wilfred Boney's got to get a shout.
Yeah,
Toure, Kolo Toure.
Yeah.
I think that one is iconic.
I mean, for the Christmas time, what about Karim Benzema's song right now?
I like that one too.
Karim Benzema was a good one.
442 is always pulls something off.
See, here's what I say, Thiago Silva. Not only is it catchy, but it's actually like a good song. All of these, I just hate them. Like, I hate listening to them. Like, they're just not good for me. I don't know. That's why I made my pick.
I know, like, Lewandowski has one, like, a couple Polish ones. There's a bunch of Polish rappers that made music about him.
My favorite Celtic one for a while was definitely Scott Sinclair. I thought that was a good song, but,
I know someone made a song about Hector Bellerin.
Oh, yeah. That one's good as well. That one's good.
I mean, guys, we're really forgetting the real important one here. Emil Heskey.
That's a good show from all the way back.
Yeah, that probably.
Yeah, KSI and who was it?
Randolph.
They made some interesting music about players. So
that was kind of the start of the rap years.
Yeah. This one's depressing. The saddest moments of football. Do you guys think? There's been a few. I mean, I think in recent memory, it's probably the Brazilian air crash that happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chapecoense.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can think off the top of your head recently.
Leicester's situation just pretty recently.
Yeah, the helicopter crash.
One involving Liverpool supporters, was it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That was
1989, yeah.
Yeah. Munich air disaster.
There's definitely been a lot of bad moments. I mean, yeah.
There's also
definitely.
Yeah, that was Hillsborough.
Bradley
Lowry.
Yeah, Bradley Lowry. Yeah.
The young.
No, there definitely has been.
The early 2010s.
There's also the Torino air tragedy.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say just Sunderland as a club itself.
How can we forget about Emiliano Sala recently.
Yeah.
That was huge.
And
People were despicable about that one.
oh, man.
Oh yeah, true.
Proper disrespectful on that one. Jesus Christ.
And people are still disrespectful about it, and like, ugh.
Yeah.
I know the Togo
always
national
just-
team had a bus
yeah.
crash before one of the African Cup of Nations years ago, and like a couple people on the bus died.
It's a tough question to ask, but it's important we address those moments, of course.
Fabrice Mbouamba as well. He collapsed as well in the middle of the pitch during.
Oh yeah. Czech Tiote passed
Who was
away.
who was the Fiorentina player that died at the hotel before a game?
His name is literally on the top of my head.
Yeah, it starts with an A, doesn't it?
Sorry, I just. Davide Astori.
A story, yeah.
Astordi, yeah. I was saying Pastore in my head. That's not right.
And then there's another.
Yeah.
There's another one that I'm thinking about. So Colombia played in the 1998 World Cup, and one of their players, he scored an own goal. I'm trying to find his name right now because I don't want to just say like this guy. Like I want to properly pay my respects.
There's an incredible documentary about that.
Yeah, so Andres Escobar, he was playing for the Colombian national team in 1998, and basically Colombia had to win this game in order to go through to the knockout stages, and he accidentally scored an own goal. Now the cartel in Colombia, bunch of the big wigs, they love to gamble, they love to bet between each other, whatever. They made bets that Colombia was going to get through to the round of 16. He scores that own goal. He goes back to Colombia. He's shot and killed. So that was just over the line for sure.
Jeez.
But I mean, the cartel don't give a fuck. They have
The
no
sport
morals.
goes too far, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Well, that's the cartel. They don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah, I only care about their money.
Favorite stadium apart from your team's stadium? I mean, for me, Signal Iduna Park, Dortmund's.
I'm just thinking, which one would I want to go to?
Simple, easy. One that I would love. There's two I would love to go to if I could choose anywhere. First off, La Bombonera, Boca Juniors. That is just, I think, one of the pinnacles of football. And then I want to go see Galatasaray. I think that would be also just fantastic for fans. I just like flares and anger and just
But that's
passion.
Does he mean like actual like how the stadium looks and everything though?
Yeah,
or
it
more...
depends. It's your opinion, man.
If we're going with how the stadium looks, what about the Big Rock Braga Stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that one.
Real Valladolid, the wall.
I like.
Shout out to our pro clubs.
Santiago Bernabeu as well, just because it's
I like
home
that
to
one
the
a
biggest
lot.
club of all time. You know, that would be interesting.
Bernabeu is probably one of my favorites to look at.
I know. Me and Rasta, we have both been to the new camp, and when Rasta walked out of the tunnel of the new camp, Rasta got a little emotional. He had a little tear in his eye, and I was like, "It's okay, Rasta." I pulled him to the side. I was like, "Stand here for a second." We were standing in the tunnel. I was like, "Stand right here. Imagine this: Messi, Maradona, Neymar, just the greatest names you could ever imagine. Cruyff. They've all been right where you are right here, right now. Iniesta, Xavi. You can keep going. It's forever." It's just like, oh, emotional.
Yeah, and Real Madrid have like a whole ass
more.
museum in their stadium as well, and with their history, they can just like
Yeah.
talk about whatever happened for days, but they just don't mention
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Last one I'll mention is the Maracana.
Oh yeah,
That's a football shrine right there.
It's one of the cathedrals of football.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's it for. I don't know if we had some YouTube ones.
There
we
was
should
some
check.
YouTube questions. There's actually one that was kind of funny.
Do you have it on you or no?
I can get it.
I watched a documentary actually a couple days ago about the cup final between Boca and River Plate when they were supposed to play in the I can't think of the name right now. What was the cup final?
The Champions League final in
Copa America, yeah.
no, Copa Libertadores.
Copa America.
That was Club America versus LAFC.
The one that they ended up having to play in Madrid because all the fan violence. Anyways, I watched a documentary about the second leg and how crazy it got in the streets, how the police were tear gassing fans and the tear gas got into the bus and broken windows on the bus. It was nuts. I was like, that is crossing a line, but it's a line I kind of want to witness personally because it's how much does football mean to these fans, right?
From a safe distance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, keep a little something on you. You know, just in case.
All right, I got some
Lucas,
YouTube questions here. Well, I got one right here from Randy Comey, who I've seen comment quite often.
Lucas, are you talking about the Fate of the Universe one?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read it?
You have it?
Is that the one? Is that the one you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Randy Comey, said, question: Fate of the Universe on the line. Martians have the death beam pointed to Earth. You have to score on a corner kick. Who do you want in the box finishing the cross? You can have any current player. Origi!
No.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I want Iguodala. That's who I want. He's a basketball player, but that's where the meme's from. So I want Iguodala on that corner. That's who I want. Okay. I don't care.
I'll toss Cristiano Ronaldo in that mix because the man can leap like I've never seen before. Of course, you're gonna want like your Ramos.
Yeah.
Harry Maguire.
Oh.
No, you don't want Harry Maguire. You're a lunatic if you want him. Diego Godin, even he scored some crucial headers in his day.
Drogba.
Crouchy Drogba. Yeah. I'm giving mine to Ronaldo.
Big old Andy Carroll.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with my pick. I'm sticking with Iguodala. Andre Iguodala. That's what I'm picking.
All right, let's do this for the rest of the questions. Let's just do one-word answers. From Hamish Nicole.
Yeah.
Who is the greatest goalkeeper of all time?
I don't want to say Lev Yashin because I've actually never watched him, and I know it's like he's got a lot of hype because of FIFA, but I'll go with Lev Yashin.
That was not a one-word answer.
Yeah, sorry.
See, Lev Yashin is the common. He's the common pick, but I think there's a very, very strong argument for Dino Zoff as well. I would even say he's better than Buffon. I think he holds the record for longest amount played without conceding a goal. He was just fantastic throughout his career. Just like when it comes to goalkeepers, there's two keepers.
Dino
there's Yashin
is definitely
and there's
in
Zoff.
there.
Take your pick.
Do you put Manuel Neuer in it?
I was going to say no.
Put him top 5.
I think he's got to be in there. He's got to be in there.
Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn was a
Liam,
wild
you go.
goalkeeper.
Casillas, Buffon.
I got Casillas, Buffon, Oliver Kahn, Neuer. Peter Schmeichel deserves a shout. He was a fantastic goalie in his day.
They're all in that mix, and it's
if I'm in like a Champions League final and I can only have one goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel. I know that's kind of crazy. I know.
Of course, I'm gonna go with Jerzy Dudek.
Jerzy Dudek.
Greg?
Little shaky legs.
that's a Neuer.
Tim Howard.
Okay. And then
Robert Green.
Robert Green.
Tim Howard. Now we're gonna get crucified in the comments there.
You
fucking Yanks.
Yeah, let's make this the last question. One word answer. What are your opinions on Arsenal Fan TV?
Hilarious.
Quality.
Yeah, fantastic.
Quality.
Stale. It's just not fun anymore.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Shambolic.
Repetitive.
Repulsive.
I think the one time I laughed was when Arsenal
Putrid.
conceded and DT just stood up and he looked at the chair and he literally tells Robbie, "Can I dash this chair, please? Like, I'll pay for it. Just let me dash it." I'm just like, that was like the one time where like it kind of got me, but I mean everything else was just like, I don't know. I've seen this a million times before. It was more fun when they actually had something to lose.
Yeah.
Now it's just like whatever. Okay, they suck.
I think we can wrap it up there. It's been a long podcast. I mean, we recorded
It's been
earlier.
good though, honestly.
It was
Thanks.
really good. It was a lot of fun. So I hope you.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations to those that have made it this far. We thank you for your time.
Thanks, Pat, for joining us yet again. Our super sub, of course. It's great to have you here.
I got you.
If you have made it this far, like Wazzy said, we greatly appreciate it. Make sure you have subscribed to the channel, hit like on this video, comment down below, give us your thoughts on anything we talked about in this episode. But from the 5 of us here and Rasta, wherever he may be, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching and listening. This has been yet another week in Beautiful Game. We will see you next time.